Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Sundin Esperance. Some of you may know me as the podcast man. Glory, glory, glory. It feels good to be back, I must say. It's been a while. And brothers and sisters, I never took a break or anything like that. Um, it was just the laptop that I had, an incident had occurred with it and so forth. And so I had to get a new one, but the new one I had to get had to be with certain left and right and right and left. And I have a kid on the way, all this, juggle left and right, ABC. But we're here more or less. Actually, this laptop given. I was given donated. I'm not gonna say the brother's name, very, very low key, but thank you very much, brother, for this. I'm truly grateful and thankful for it. And what's crazy is the original laptop that I was supposed to get, that I was gonna get. This laptop given actually has more than what I need. You see how God work? You see how God work? My God. Anyways, those of you on Spotify, if you didn't know what was going on, as I say, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you will see these updates. And those that didn't know knew that technical difficulties were going on. So if you weren't seeing an episode or so forth, that was the reason. But more or less, truly give God thanks. Now it's been a while that I've been, maybe a while I would say. Actually, it's been a while. February. Yeah, since February. So it's been a good minute since I have been away, but it's still the same thing. This podcast affiliates itself with one church and one church only. That is First Church of our Lord Jesus Christ, where the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle Pastor Gino Jennings. You thought it changed? You thought I went somewhere? No, sir. No, sir. Still the same as always. Brothers and sisters, let's continue to keep one another in prayer, as well as the apostle and his family and the faithful ministry brethren and their families as well. Updates. Just stay tuned. We're gonna be coming more and more with episodes. I'm trying to get as much as I can right now. As I said, I have a son that is on the way anytime now, literally anytime. So I'm gonna do the best I can to get as many episodes as possible. Right now, some days I have like 3 scheduled in one day. So I'm doing, all that I can and so forth. So, continue to keep us in prayer. And once again, to the brother that, donated a laptop, truly, truly give thanks. Actually, that's why I said when donating to these shows and stuff like that, it just makes things much easier and it helps out. Where as you can see, I just put it to use right away. So those of you that do donate consistently as well, thank you very much. May not be much, but it's doing something. That's what I could definitely say, because there's definitely things that have to get paid for along the way. But as I said, brothers and sisters, as always, continue to keep the apostle and his family in prayer, as well as the faithful ministering brethren and the families as well. The convocation, I wasn't able to make it, as my son, he just do any time, and going there, it would have just been it was a tough risk to juggle, me going myself. But all the less, continue to keep me and my family in prayer, as we're striving to hold on to God's unchanging hand. That's enough for me. We're going to get right back into it. Today, we're going to have a brother sharing his testimony on how God brought him out of the world and into his church. This brother is brother Tyree. We have brother Tyree Lewis from where again, brother? In Georgia?
Hmm. I'll say it's a Brunswick, Georgia, but I'm at the Valdosta Temple.
Okay, Brunswick, Georgia, from the Valdosta Temple. All I know is in the same state as Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna think that it's somewhere close to Atlanta. Now, you feel me? I keep forgetting Atlanta is not a state, because that's the one. When I hear Atlanta, I ain't hear no Georgia. When people say they're from Atlanta, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Nah, they say I'm from Atlanta. You hear me? But more
Exactly.
than less, brother, thank you very much for taking the time and come on and sharing your testimony.
No
As
problem.
always, brothers and sisters, I'm truly grateful. Those of you who take the time and have the willingness to come on and share it. I'm truly, truly grateful and blessed by it. As I say, moreover, these testimonies encourage not only others, but encourages me as well. And I have no clue what we're in store for today. I'm sure brother Tyree know what we're in store for today. But before we even go any further, brother Tyree, how are you doing this evening right now, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Especially after this weekend, man. I went to the convocation, my first international convocation, man.
Wonderful,
It was wonderful, man. Like
wonderful.
I thought I won't be able to make it, but God stepped in, man, gave me enough money to make it there for my room, and enough
Yeah.
money for food and everything. So, and I had a wonderful time, man. So
Wonderful,
I'm
wonderful,
really
wonderful.
energized. I'm pumped, man.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope that pump makes you keep pumping, pumping, but not become overzealous now. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Because some people they pump too much.
and then
You know,
I'm hyped. I'm hyped, but I'm precautious.
yeah, because
Is what I'm saying.
I got it. Because some people they pumping, 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 and now they just become
And
too
they go
much
like,
now. You hear me now? Yeah, yeah, you hear me. But anyways, brothers and sisters, that's gonna be enough from me. Like I said, I'm excited to be back. Thank you all so much for your prayers. I'm truly grateful and thankful. Stay tuned for updates and all this wonderful, beautiful stuff, and continue to keep me and my family in prayer. All right, that's enough from me. I want to hear from Brother Tyree. Brother Tyree, tell us, how did God bring you out of the world and into his church?
Man, it's gonna be a to be a kicker, man. What should I start? To start off
Well,
like,
of course, you know how you. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. Because sometimes some people forget. You know what I'm saying. I've been
yeah,
here in a minute now. You remember, but you know what I'm saying. Start. Of
yeah,
course, how you grew up and stuff. Where you from? Pretty
yeah.
much your life documentary, your mini documentary, up to where
Okay,
you are now and so forth.
okay, okay. Well, let's see. I'm from Brussels, Georgia. I grew up in a family of, I have an older brother. I have two sisters. I had a mom and dad family, stuff like that. Growing up, my mom and dad they got split. They got divorced at a young age when I was young. I was raised
Around
in
what
a
age would you say they got divorced?
I would say it's been a long time. So I was like five, like around five, I believe.
Oh, five. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. I used to sleepwalk bad, man. Oh man, I used to sleepwalk because of that so bad. I used to have bad nightmares. I used to wake up every night like in crying, like in tears, like out of nowhere, just crying.
You say
And I was
you
just
used to
sleepwalk so
sleepwalk?
bad, like bad.
Wow.
I used to wake up out of my bed. My dad said I almost went outside the door into the street. Like that's how bad it
Wow.
was. Yeah, that's how
And then
bad
I
it
guess
was.
that's when after they got divorced, that's when
Forest
that
and
started happening. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was the only one that really was much affected. I was the younger
Yeah,
during that
yeah.
time. I was the younger baby. I was the child before my
Mhm.
little sister came. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? So
okay.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay.
And then I grew up in a, parents when you're young, they raise you to put God first.
Yeah.
So my dad was the one that always, hey, look, we going to church, we ain't missing no church. It was to the point where like if you can't find your shoes, like he put the bet on you can't find your shoes. Like that's how bad it was. Like I went
Mhm.
to every Bible study, every fourth, fifth Sunday, all of it. And I grew up in a Baptist church, so I pretty much did everything in the church from usher to little deacon to choir to plays, and I was a drummer,
Mhm.
all that, man. So um, see, that's my childhood a little bit. But when you get older, I kind of stepped out of the church thing because when I got older, I was working on my family when I met my wife now,
Mhm.
uh, still now, but we were high school sweethearts, you
Mhm.
know. So we were, you know, getting our first apartment and stuff like that, and baby fever came over me. I was like, I want a child so bad, like I want a baby so bad.
Mhm.
And then she was kind of on the yeah, I don't know yet, but then she finally came around. So we ended up trying, and then well, she was pregnant. But here's the kicker that was
Mhm.
crazy was we were planning on moving to a whole new apartment. So the
Mhm.
whole time we was moving, she was pregnant. We didn't know that.
Wow.
So she was helping me move, not even know
The
she was
stuff.
pregnant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was crazy. Like it was just because she said, I'm sorry. She kept feeling like pains and stuff like that. So she took a test and she found out she was pregnant.
Mhm.
So of course I was happy and everything. Months go by and I was starting my new job and everything, making good money. And then it was getting close to the what you call it, gender reveal. And prior to this, I had a dream. I had the most vivid dream. God gave me the most vivid dream. I was literally holding hands with a baby girl, and I would actually hold her in my hands. Like I'm telling you to this day, like it was the most vivid dream. It was like I was literally holding a copy of my wife now. Like it
Mhm.
was so scary. Like it was weird, but I just paid no mind to it. I was just okay. It's okay. I just paid no mind. Because I wanted the girl first. That was my idea. I wanted the girl first because I love babies anyways. Then I just wanted the girl first. And then the gender reveal came. Come to find out, it was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked the name out. It was gonna be a junior. I was so happy I got my own son. From be a football player, all this stuff. Man, I was
Mm.
hyped. And daddy going out. We all having fun and stuff like that. And here comes the here comes the bad news.
Mm.
Well, that's I would say about a couple days or maybe about a week, half of the week. She started feeling some sharp pain, and
Mm.
like we had like a small little argument. You know how when uh the woman is pregnant, they have hormones. The hormones
Yes.
like they're like they can't stop, they can't control them, so they get
Yeah.
angry over little things. It's this stuff like that. So we had a little petty argument over like a pencil on the floor or something. It was something like that,
Yeah.
and she started feeling sharp pain and she couldn't sleep. So it was like I was worried myself. So we just had to go to the hospital, had emergency ultrasound. Ah, man. On the way there, towards the back, they said that we were passing the baby already. So the lady did the ultrasound. It was no heartbeat anymore. And it was very, man, it was very devastating. Ah, man. Just thinking about it, just a very devastating moment, man.
Mm.
Because I just literally just told my family about like a couple of days ago, and then bam, just like that. Then here comes downhill. So you know, man, the scariest part was when you have to deal with the after effects.
Yeah.
Now, my wife, of course, we had to get I think it's called a DNC or I can't remember what it's called, where you have to get the baby out or something like that. I can't remember what it's called.
Mm.
And she had to have surgery for it. And then they said the doctor said that she's gonna have a lot of bleeding. Now, I've seen, the period blood, stuff like that. Like I said, that period blood, stuff like that. But it was to the point where I literally had to watch my wife use the restroom, and it felt like I thought she was bleeding out.
Wow.
And that kind of added some trauma to me. But I had to be strong. Guys, like you have to be strong for your woman because it's a tough time for her.
Mm-hmm.
And me, like I said, I cried once during that time. I shed a little tear, but I had to be strong because I didn't want her to see me so down. I was trying to, what I'm saying, lift her up because that's a tough time for her because she actually
Yeah.
cares.
Mm-hmm.
They're attached to it. They have all these emotions attached to it. So, and she blamed herself. And I was trying to tell her, no, don't blame yourself. It wasn't you. Things happen for a reason. We just can't question it. Things happen for a reason. So, I was there for her. You know, I had to miss about 2 weeks of work, so I was missing out on money for
Yeah.
bills.
Mm-hmm.
Stress that was more added stress on top of that. And then I had to take her to doctor's appointments because she could barely walk. I had to shower
Wow.
her. I had to
Wow.
feed her. It was a lot. It was a lot, man. And then I had to cut the time off from her to actually go back to work because I was missing some money. So I had to literally ask my boss at the time, can I get an advance on my check or something? I can just something. And she actually really gave me some money and helped me out. So that was a
Mm-hmm.
good plus on that one. But I was just still depressed. In my mind, I was
Mm-hmm. Of
depressed, but I was still being there for her.
course.
And um, when you at your lowest moment and you're not showing it. Because I was raised where you just don't show emotions. When things bad happen, you just hide it. I was the person like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I'm good. Knowing something wrong, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And like I was the type of person for the longest time. My wife, she don't like that at all. She ain't like that at all. Like she wanted me to express my feelings. I just couldn't. I was just like, I'm fine. Long as you okay, I'm fine. And like I was saying, like when you're at your lowest moment, and that's the time where the devil comes in.
Of course. Of course.
You know, during that time, I was helping my wife. This thought kept coming across my head, and it kept saying, "Tyree, you doing this, you doing all this for her. Why she ain't comforting you? Why she ain't helping you out? And back in my mind, it was like, why am I thinking this? In my mind, like, why am I thinking this? Like, this girl had a baby, and I'm like, you know, why am I thinking this? And it kept on playing in my head, just marinating on it. So as soon as you marinate on a thought, you start thinking it, and then it goes to your heart, and it actually comes out. So that would happen with me. So like that thought kept on coming and coming. So in back of my mind, I was like, it kept saying, Tyree, they say it, they say it, they say it. So I ended up saying this towards her. I was like, I'm helping you, but why you ain't comforting me? Like, and it came out in a harsh way.
Yeah.
And it made things like 10 times worse. Like, and then ever since then, like something in my mind just the switch is flipped off to like I don't care mode. Like I was just zoned out. All I was care about was just me, my own self, and stuff like that. Now, before that happened, before that mind switch happened, of course, I was still encouraging her, like, we can try again, we can try again. So she was scared, of course, and then I still beat myself up for this because um she didn't want to try again. And I felt like I forced her to try again because like I wanted the baby so bad, like I wanted the baby so bad, like, and then we ended up trying after all the stuff, I feel healed up and everything. So he tried again, and then come to find out, she was pregnant again. So, but during that pregnancy, like I was saying, my mind at that time was gone. Like my mind just switched to nothing but all I care about is me, my own personal feelings. That's all I care about, and nothing else. Like that's why I wanted to be happy. Like I wanted to enjoy me being happy, but I couldn't find the happiness. So so during that time she was pregnant, man, I still beat myself up because it's something I wish I would have enjoyed, but I did to myself. During that time, I was just out of it. I went from, going out partying every night, drinking and doing all crazy stuff, just have some fun and stuff like that. And
But the whole
you know,
time it's like your mind is
yeah,
messed
that's
up.
that's what it was. My mind was just like, I need a fix. I need something. Like I need something. I don't know what it is. I need something. Because like during that time, I wasn't really doing any praying. I wasn't, I wasn't in the church stuff like that. So that's on the back burner. I wasn't even none of that stuff. And then like I said, I was partying and all that stuff, and then you know, I was neglecting my wife while she was pregnant. I was still showing so much hate towards her and stuff like that. Man, I was saying mean things towards her, and um, I said something I wish I didn't say. And then here comes another hard part where um, I never knew that I would step out of my marriage, and I end up I was out there having fun, I'm making friends, stuff like that. Ended up liking this another girl.
Yeah.
Like the lust was strong. I was just lust after this one girl, We start talking, conversating, and then, I felt like when we was talking, it's like a listening ear. And I feel like I just want somebody just to hear me, like what I'm going through, like my pain, like what I was going through. And I felt like during that time, my mind was all messed up. She literally was that person, and but the thing about it then, it was a false narrative because it was just I'm in lust right now. I'm lust at this one girl, and the devil is playing with it, as in she just that person to listen to you, Tyree. She don't want you. She just is there for you, stuff like that. So we ended up talking stuff like that, and then ended up doing all that stuff, you know, and then I ended up still was on the verge of divorce. I wanted to divorce my wife. Like something in my mind was saying, Tari, just leave your wife, just leave your family, just divorce her. You don't need her anymore. So that's what it was. My mind was just full of hurt, full of just I wanted to feel better. Just do things like that, man. And I still beat myself up because I literally was to the point where I was spending so much time with the other girl, I missed some of my daughter's appointments. Like that's how bad it was. Like I went to one of her appointments when it was fresh off, and she had to force me to go there. I was so mad. And then, I missed a lot of them because I was at the girl house literally. My wife was calling me. She was like, "Where you at?" So I had to make up a lie, of course, and then stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm at this girl house having fun, chilling, doing we got God knows what we doing and stuff like that. So that was happening on for a long time, even though causing her more stress on the baby, and I wasn't even thinking about it. So she was getting more weeks up and stuff like that. And then she was stressing to the point where she had to have, another surgery because she was leaking some of the what's it call it? Some of the fluid off the baby. I can't remember what it's called. The embryonic fluid. I can't remember what it's called.
Something I don't know.
Yeah, it's some type of
Something
fluid.
like that. Okay.
Yeah. So she had to get a surgery called a cerclage, where it tightens the uterus, so the baby won't come out too soon, too early. So that's how I was bad. I was stressing out so bad that the baby almost came early, like 20 something 6 weeks. Like it was that bad. So, again, even and even though I knew something was wrong in my mind, but I didn't care. Like it was to the point where she literally was up there, was arguing before she even had the surgery. Then after we were driving back, we were still arguing while she had the surgery already. That's why I knew my mind was like I wasn't there. Like me
Yeah.
personally, I wasn't there. I was out of it. Like
Mm.
this girl just had surgery, and we're just arguing back and forth. And like I'm still leaving you. Like I don't care. Like, I want a divorce. I was still saying all this towards her.
Mm.
And then oh man, again, my mind was still messed up and everything. I'm gonna get to the point where he, I kind of felt something was changing in me. When I was out with this girl, we literally drove to it's somewhere man. It was the girl I was talking to at the time. Well, my wife, whatever. She was into like what you call it, politics. So
Mm.
she wanted to go see some type of live podcast on about politics stuff like that.
Mm.
So she invited me. We drove together, stuff like that, man. And like that whole trip was just something that felt so off. Like I just felt like dark. Like the aura around me was dark. Like
Mm.
I couldn't even imagine. I don't know. I can't even fathom what it was. Like it was just dark. It was just dark. And then the whole time we was there, like how God you know, will cause certain things to happen. Like will cause an argument to happen for stuff to break up. If you get what I'm trying to say. So that
Mm.
that was what kind of happened. Like like during the whole time they was having fun in the beginning, and towards the end of the night, like we were straight arguing about nonsense. We just arguing. She was distant from me, all type of stuff like that, man. It was just like, and then she was like, "No, we need to take a break." And in my mind, I was like, "Okay, so we guess we'll take a break." Then after that, we was done with it. And then literally, as I was driving back home, like in my mind, I was just thinking about literally everything that transpired from then, like all the cheating I've done, all the smoking and drinking. Man, we had me and my wife, we had a lot of money saved up. I blew through all that money from drinking and
Oh,
smoking. Yeah, man, I blew through like give it take like $3,000, man, just off of drinking and smoking and doing crazy stuff, man, and
jeez.
going on trips, buying food and it's all types of stuff, man. And again, like I said, I beat myself up sometimes, but I know it's not me anymore. So, um, where was it? I think so. Okay, yeah, I was driving her back, drove her home, stuff like that. And I was driving back home, person myself. Something in my mind, something in my mind, it was like a voice in my mind was saying, Tyree, just go home. Just go back home. I was paying attention to it. I was like, you know what? Let me just go home. Even though my wife during that time, she was already done with me and everything. And hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah.
During that time, like, all that hurt, all that hurt and stuff that I did to my wife during that time, she was already done with me. Like in her mind, I'm done with you. Like I don't want to be near you. You did this to me. You ruined the marriage. You ruined this pregnancy. You messed out on so much. All this stuff. Like I missed the majority of the pregnancy, and I still beat myself up because I missed so many precious moments. I missed the ultrasound pictures where she was growing. I missed pictures where it was showing the shapes of her lips and everything. I missed the kicks and all that stuff, man. So I went back home and then I told her like, let's just talk. I just want to talk. And you know, we were conversating. So when the girl, she knows the truth. She's wanted to ask me like, why all this happening and stuff like that. So I ended up telling her the truth, but not some of the truth. So I was beginning to start to change while I was telling her the truth about everything I've done because she already know what I did. She wanted to just admit it.
Your wife,
So
you're telling your wife the truth.
Yeah, talking about the truth. Yeah, about everything that I've done. She already know what I did, but it hurts more just to confess to it and actually admit it that I did it. So I didn't tell her the truth, but not all the truth at that time. But over time, I was telling her more and more the truth. And again, before I did all that, again, a voice in my mind was saying, Tyree, just tell the truth. Just be honest. Just tell the truth. During that time, I didn't recognize it. Probably God telling me, Tyree, just to be honest, just tell the truth. Truth set you free. In my mind, I was like, okay, I'll just tell the truth. And I told some of the truth. And then again, over time, over days, she was asking me more and more questions. I was like, I can't lie. Like, it was so much conviction in my heart. It was just like, Tyree, just tell the truth. So I didn't tell her the truth. And then that one day while I told her the truth about what happened, she stormed out the room and everything and stuff like that. When I tell you, remember I told you before, like I had that dark aura around me? After I told the truth and everything, when I tell you, like when she left that room, the presence that was around me just vanished. It literally vanished. And like I literally was pouring out tears. Like I was crying like worse than a baby. Like I felt like the conviction of everything that I've done. Like it was like somebody lifted my heart out, and I was like, it was one of those cries where you can't even breathe. I was like, that's how bad it was. Like I'm telling
you, one of them was it.
Yeah, that's how bad it was, man. Like literally, that's how it literally was. And then like I literally felt everything like I've done, like all the cheating, all this stuff, man. And I literally dropped to my knees and just prayed. I was like, you know what? Let me just pray. I said, Lord, whatever I have to do, whatever I have to go through to get this right, I will go through it. I pray, like, Lord, please forgive me, help me to get through this marriage the best way that I can, because I know I already ruined most of the marriage. Just let me get through it. So slowly but surely, like I said, I was telling her the truth about everything. Of course, she was still didn't want to be with me and stuff like that. And I was still telling the truth about a lot of things. So she started to come around just a tad bit. I want to say a little bit, like a little speck. She started coming around. The walls were still all the way up. It was like a little tiny inch it was coming down. So she was being more talkative towards me because I was telling her the truth and I was just being more honest. And then, a lot of more things started happening. She was asking me to get tested. I had to man up and do that because I didn't want to give her anything. During that time, I wasn't even thinking about, STDs and all that type of stuff like that. I was just doing me. I didn't even care. Luckily, by the grace of God, I didn't have any. So, when the girl I was talking to, she didn't have anything. So I got tested.
Blessfully, my dear. That's not luck. Bless. Thank God. Yes,
that,
Lord.
Yes. That don't happen all the time to people. That don't happen to people. So I'm grateful for that too, for sure. So I got tested the first time, and then she got tested, and she was like, her test was said it was positive. It was like, how is it positive? If I got tested, I'm negative. So how are you positive?
Wait, hold on. You said you got tested.
Yeah.
You became negative.
Yeah.
She also got tested as well, your wife?
Yeah.
And she became positive?
Because well, hold on, let me backtrack. Let me backtrack. Let
Yes,
me
yes,
backtrack.
yes, yes.
Let me backtrack. During that time, I was around my wife too a little bit. I was still, you know, even though I didn't always spend a lot of time with that girl during the time. I would still spend time with my wife a little bit, but we were still mad at each other. But her, you know how girls hormone when they're pregnant,
Yeah, yeah,
stuff like that. So we end up, doing that, and then that was during the time I was actually having uh relations with the other girl and her at the same time.
yeah. Mm,
So she got tested and she found out she was positive, but the guy said it was positive, but she got retested again. It was negative.
okay.
So when she was positive the first time, I'm talking about she literally blew my phone up. I was at work. She blew my phone up. She was like, "You gave me blah 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 blah." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm negative. I'm negative." He's like, "I'm positive. You gave me this." I was like, "Look, calm down, calm down. I ain't calming down. I ain't calming down." And stuff like that. So it was one of those moments where I had to just take it in, just take my medicine because I did to myself. I had to just take it in. I got tested again. It was still negative. And she got tested again. It was negative.
Mm,
So she ended up calming down and we started talking again and stuff
yeah.
like that. And then, I started praying to God, man, kept praying and praying. So I was in my stage of letting go of a lot of things. In my mind, when you start coming out of the world where the thing that you used to do, it don't interest you anymore.
Mm,
And you remember when I told you I was, smoking and club and all stuff like that? I just lost interest of it.
yeah.
My last drink I had was on my last year birthday was in February 10th. And that was when my transition was starting to happen around that time. And my friend, he bought me a bottle. He left it there. It was a full bottle of I can't remember what it was, but it don't make any difference. It was a bottle. It was left on the top of the fridge. And during the week, I was walking by the fridge. I saw that bottle. I was like, you know what? So I grabbed the bottle, opened it up, dumped it right in the sink.
Wow.
And like literally, like ever since then, I haven't drunk anything. Like I just stopped cold turkey,
Wonderful.
drinking, smoking, all that stuff. Like I lost
Wonderful.
interest of all that stuff.
Mm,
And I haven't looked back. Like I don't have the taste of it. Like it's to the point now. If I smell alcohol, I feel like I'm gonna puke. Like it's to
wow.
that point. Like I'm that sensitive to it now. Like I can't even. Like I get the sweats. I don't want to be nowhere near it.
Mm,
Um, and then like during that stage, man, I was still trying to find God, man. They're trying to find some type of peace. I felt like I was getting some peace, but it wasn't, fully what I needed just yet. Because I was in my stage where I was transitioning, letting go of a lot of things, not talking to a lot of people that I used to talk to, being around a lot of people that was influencing me during that time, stuff like that. Um, so I was in my stage of finding myself, finding like what can I do to fix my life around. So I started being, into the Bible a lot, just reading the Bible, man. I was so overzealous. I went to Walmart. I was just buying like tabs. I was just writing down scriptures on them and just going through the Bible, this stuff like that. I was just overzealous, just listening to TD Jakes and all types of stuff. I listen to all those people like that, man. It's just trying to get my mind to find God again, stuff like that. And then, okay, so that, yeah. Okay, then, towards that point, I was going to my wife's church at the time. And her wife's church was like a church where it's just like, those churches where they have his sermon written out and all type of stuff like that.
yeah.
Just like a false church, this sermon written out, wasn't really preaching the Bible like that. They had some good things, during that time when I was there. And then I stopped doing that. And then I came across this non-denominational type church thing, and they was preaching, they was preaching against, homosexuality, they was all the meat and potatoes, all the good stuff starting off, but that it was mostly focusing on evangelism. Like they had a lot of people going out there evangelizing, females out there evangelizing and stuff like that. And I was so hyped, I was overzealous. I was like, no, I want to do something. I want to do something like that, man. I was trying to be a street preacher and stuff like that. And it was to the point where I literally, I literally went to Walmart, I went to Walmart, and I bought a speaker. I still haven't used yet. I bought, look at that. I bought a speaker. I still haven't used yet. I didn't use it for my own music during that time. I was just listening to music. That's all I used it to. I use it for. And during that time, something still didn't feel right, man. I was happy, I felt like I was actually doing something, and you know, something in my mind was just like something ain't right, man. Because I had so much anxiety. When I tell you, it was so much anxiety, like I was like sweating. I was like, my heart was panicking every like this all over the place, man. I didn't know what it was, man, and I just couldn't get a grip of it. So I was praying and praying as God said, look, God, please lead me to the truth. Lead me to something that's right. I want to make sure this is right. If I'm in this is right, let me know. And then before that happened, I was, of course, again, I was in my overzealous mode. I was going crazy, trying to be a street preacher, handing out pamphlets, all types of stuff like that. And it was a church where I live at. It was in a mall. And in my mind, I was like, I want to be a mentor. I want to mentor other kids to tell them my story, like, because I was wanting to, explain to them like,
Yeah.
stuff you go through, like, stuff like that. And I was talking to the pastor at that church, and then he was like, yeah, man, mentor, you be a mentor to the kids, stuff like that, yada yada, go on some trips, talk to the kids, man. Then he be like, look, man, I'll get back with you, man. Come to find out, he never even got back to me at all. And I kind of figured like down the road, God was telling me, Tyree, that's not your calling. That's not for you. Don't do that.
Mm.
So I was continuing to keep praying to God, look, God, man, because I was being, and not to mention you, during that whole time, I was being sincere. Like I was being full blown sincere. Like I was like, I want to save myself. I want to get closer to God, man. I'm trying to find God, stuff like that. So I kept on praying, crying sometimes, praying. And because I was still in the process trying to build my marriage back up and trying to find God at the same time and trying to deal with my wife still on the verge was wanting to leave me, but she was still coming around a little bit, because I was telling her the truth, actually communicating and stuff like that. And during that time, we had our child and stuff like that. So I had no choice. We had no choice but to talk anyways. So I had to help her out with that too. So was coming around for that. Um, like again, I was praying, and then like I said, it's everybody's testimony I've been hearing so far. PJ came out of nowhere. I'm telling you, I haven't heard of pastor at all. I never even looked him up. I haven't even heard of his name. Nothing about holiness, none of it at all. And I kept seeing all his stuff kept coming up. I was just scrolling through because I was watching my other church uh doing street preacher and stuff like that. Cause he was a guy, he was like a little apostle, somewhat of apostle, I would say, but
Wow.
he was going around to other countries and uh talking about like praise God and have to repent and stuff like that. But he was never saying nothing about Acts 2:38 and all that stuff. He was just talking about gotta repent for your sins, the Lord is coming. This stuff kind of get you, what I'm saying, people to think and stuff like that. And he'll do street preaching about homosexuality, change and stuff like that. And he was baptizing people, stuff like that. So I was in it, I was sincere. I was like, hey, he doing something. So I was like, he like ain't doing nothing. So my mind was like, okay. So again, like I said, but I saw, when you watch videos, again, you see those little things on the side, you see this stuff pop up. And I
Yes.
saw it. I was like, let me click on it. Someone told me to click on it. I just clicked on it. Once I did, I got hooked.
Wow.
Like I got hooked and everything. So I was watching one of his sermons about baptism. And one thing that got me was when he was talking about if you was in a Baptist church, he was in this church, he was in this church, you're baptized wrong. And then my mind was like, so this whole time I've been baptized wrong. I'm not even saved. Like in my mind, I was like, I had to ponder on it for a minute because like I didn't just hop on just like that.
Yeah.
my mind was just pondering on. I was like, I'm baptized wrong this whole time I've been living. And this whole entire time, God been keeping me. And I could have been dead and gone this whole time. I
Right.
could have been gone, and He still spared me to at least hear this message. And like, what's your next step, Trey? What you gonna do? You
Right.
gonna listen to me this time? You gonna go get baptized? So I was just sitting there pondering. I listened to His message. I was sitting there pondering on it. So I just got up and I was off a Sunday, so I went on to the Truth of God because I saw like on the details on the bottom it was like go to the Truth of God and look for baptism stuff like that. So that's what I did. So I filled it out, and they told me the closest temple was to me was the Valdosta temple. So I told my wife, I said, "Look, I'm going to get baptized. I'm going to go. I'm just going to go." And then um, she didn't want me to go.
Your
Like she
wife, your
didn't.
wife never wanted you to go.
Yeah, my wife didn't never want me to go at all. Like that was a transition I was making. Like she didn't want me to go or anything because she's talking about she had a bad dream and stuff like that. Yeah, she was one of those like trying to stop me from going type things. But
Yes, yes,
oh, man, if I don't make it, it's by God's will. I was like, I gotta go. I want to get
yeah,
baptized. So I
yeah.
was so eager to get baptized. So I went over to the church. I gave my testimony to him. I said, "Look, I want to get baptized. I heard I was baptized wrong. I was in the Baptist church, stuff like that. Tell a little bit of my story, what happened, stuff like that. And then I got baptized. So ever since then, man, I just been following the truth of God. And then, you know, things started changing. Things literally started changing. So I started listening to more and more of holiness. I didn't know what holiness. I didn't know what holiness really even was at all. At all. So that was some of my testimony right there.
Mm. Wow, 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 man. And I what a testimony, of course, indeed, brother. Of course, questions in my head, pondering
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and so forth. So, marriage, you got married right after high school?
So we got married. I won't say right after high school. I would say we was in college.
Okay.
We was engaged and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and we got married literally a little bit after. Well, I think it was during she was going to school.
Okay.
Yeah, she was going to school. I dropped out of school.
So like early 20s, you'd say? Early
It was
20s,
like 20, yeah, like 20, yeah, 20,
20,
21. Yeah.
2021. And of course of, what you've been through and, seeing with your past experience. And of course you've heard the teachings where marriage is taught here in holiness.
Yes.
How how grateful would you have been if you were able to hear, you know, teachings on holiness to be able to go get counsel from the apostle, go and get counsel from like how much of a difference? Because a lot of times, many in this, well, not, I don't know, not to say in this, but the way, marriage is taught, in this way of holiness, it's like, oh, they just don't want people to get married, blah blah blah, and it's not the
No, that
case
ain't
at
the case.
all.
It's not the case.
So you agree it's not the case at all?
It's not the case at all. Yeah.
So it's from your experience now. You got married young. You just, you have this baby fever and stuff. You get married, high school sweetheart, all this type of stuff.
Like we literally met each other where it was like 13 to 14, like 12, 13. Like we was around that age. Freshman year of high school. Like from then
Wow.
off
All
and
the way on.
on, stuff like that. From yeah.
So y'all knew each other for years.
Yeah, like for years,
For
years. It's
ye-
like nobody don't know like regularly. Like we've
mm,
been around each other for the longest time. She know everything about me, I know everything about her type thing.
wonderful. And so back again to my question. Now you, of course, hearing the teachings on marriage.
Yes.
How much of a difference do you believe that would have made? And this could be for, a lot of young brothers and young sisters who's like, oh, I'm pressing on, I'm getting married, this and that. Like, how
Yes.
much of a difference, you believe that would have made for yourself?
Man, I would tell anybody, slow down.
Say that again.
Slow down.
Hold on, wait. Say that again.
Slow down.
Slow down. What does slow mean? Slow means take your time,
Slow
right?
means just stop your brakes.
Pump
Slow
the
down.
brakes, eh? Pump the brakes. Wow.
Know what you get yourself into. Know what you get yourself into, and make sure this person is who you really want to be with. Like when Pastor was talking about, you can have I mean, when you say like you can have
It's you
what
could
you
have so it was and I've never heard this in my entire life, by the way, but until I came across of it. But the video in reference where you're speaking of is the apostle said you can have what you want,
mm-hmm.
but not with who you want. And then you have some that have who they want, but
That's
not
not
what they
what
want. Ay,
that
ay, ay, fire, fire, fire. Hey, hey. But yeah, continue.
that's how
So,
it is, man.
mm,
That's how
yeah.
it is, man. Like I would tell anybody that's young, man, just take your time, man. Don't rush, man. Focus on getting yourself right first. Getting your get closer to God. Get closer to God. Build a career where you're able to sustain yourself, man. Love yourself. That's one thing I would tell anybody. That's what I've been working on, man. Loving myself, man. Love yourself, man, because you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself first. So I'm saying you don't know what love is. Now I'm starting to grow and learn what actual love is, man. Because during that time, because you're young, well, okay, you're young, you out in the world, you're doing your yada yadas and stuff like that, man. You just doing whatever you think that's love, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because sex is not love.
Hmm.
And Pastor talked about that. Sex is not love. You can't
Yeah.
just survive off of a whole relationship that's okay. We're having arguments. We make up. Bam. And it's like a cycle. We keep doing the same thing over and over again. We're
Over.
not doing it. We're just arguing. Bam, bam, bam. And then now that I've come into the teaching of holiness, man, where you like, and ever since I made that change too, as well, like I've been more open. Like I told her, I said, look, we've been together for nearly since freshman year. Why are we acting like we don't know each other?
Mm.
Like we should be able to talk about anything. I mean anything. I mean anything. You know all about me. You know my favorite drawers. You know all. I talk about everything. I talk the whole meat and potato. I talk about everything about me.
Yeah.
All of it. And I know you. So why we can't conversate? Why we can't tell each other how we really feel? And let's work on it.
Mm.
Like she knew I was the person that where I always had my feelings deep inside. I didn't want to talk about it at all. And she saw that I changed where like I wanted to just talk about everything now. It's like
Mm.
you weren't used to that. She was just scared. So like she was kind of standoffish a little bit. She was like, Tyree, you know what I'm saying? You telling the truth a lot. You all this stuff. I was like, cause I was like, we gotta be more honest with each other. That's
Yes.
part of marriage. Like we can't just sit here, we have a problem. We just keep just having sex and then we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying like stuff don't happen that way.
Mm.
It takes more than that to make a marriage. So I'm saying, and then also during that time, man, when you're young, I didn't know what marriage consisted of, man. I thought this marriage was just, hey, let's get married, let's get
Yeah.
married. Everybody
Mm.
get married, let's get married. And then now that I look back, man, I look back, man, marriage is it's something, man. It's tough,
Yeah.
man. It is. It really is tough, man. So my
Mm.
advice, man, to the younger people, man, just take your time, man. Please take your time. Know what you get yourself into. Make sure you know this is the person that you really want to be with, that y'all both on the same page, stuff like that. So yeah, man, with the teachings, man, it's a eye opener a lot,
Mm.
man. It's a very eye opener a lot of things, man. I tell you that.
Yeah. And if you were able, like, let's say you were able to hear those teachings, of course, before getting married, would you have still pursued getting married the way you did, or would
No,
you
no,
you would have done it differently?
no.
What would you have done differently, by hearing the teachings? Like, what would you have done differently if you could go back and, or not
Just
even go back, if you could see
mhm.
someone else, right? They're saying, "Hey, Tyree, I'm finna do this ABC," but now you have teachings. You
Mhm.
have advice. You have administration. You can go to for counsel. You go to the apostle. To all that. What would you have done differently, or what would you tell that youngin to do differently?
I would tell him, man, slow down. Like I said, slow down, man. Work on work on yourself. Love yourself, man. Know what you get yourself into. Learn yourself. Make sure that you're solid, you're stable, man. Make sure you have God in your life, man. That's one thing I value right now, like is having God in your corner, man. Having God with you at all times, man. Just you how can I put it? if it was me during that time when if I would have heard the teachings while I was younger, we probably would still been engaged. I'll give it that. We probably still been engaged because during that time, like we was young, young while we was
Yes.
off and on and stuff like that, and
Mm,
we were doing all the whole cheating thing. But we got to the point where it was like, look, let's stop all this cheating. You know everything I done. I know everything you done. Let's just, if we're gonna do this together, let's do this. So we put it all behind us. Like we told you about everything to each other. Look, you know what I've done. You know, I know what you done.
mm,
So let's move forward. If we're gonna get married, let's put all this behind us. Let's move forward.
mm,
So we was doing a good start with that. That's a good because you don't want to go into a marriage where you just bringing in all that extra baggage and
mm,
stuff from the past and stuff like that. So we made a vow to each other that look, we're not gonna talk about the past. Past happened. We're done with it. Let's leave it alone. We're moving forward now. We're gonna be married now, boyfriend and girlfriend no more. Let's
mm,
go forward. So if I would have had to teach us then, we probably still been engaged. We was engaged for like about 4 years, I believe, about 3 or 4 years
mm,
before then.
okay.
So we probably still been engaged, man, and I would definitely implemented some teaching the teachings in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bringing God in it, putting Him first, get His approval and everything. Like learning more about God and learning who He is and what it takes in a marriage, like and just stuff like that. That's what I want to learn, man. And I really appreciate the teachings, man, because my eyes been just so much
No, for
teaching, man.
sure, for sure.
Worth it. It's worth it, man. It's really worth it.
No, for sure. No, no, that's just it's wonderful. And of course, as you hear the teachings, it's not an easy thing, marriage.
It's not, man.
And when you put yourself into it, there's no getting out.
Yeah, it's not.
You
It's not.
know, it's
One wife,
that's
like
it. Elder Baker, one
is it
burner,
one burner? Yeah, I'm about to say that one burner.
one burner. Mm,
Keep it burning.
one burner.
Keep it burning. Keep it
One
burning.
burner, keep it burning. And they
And
can't
no,
look. No
he
looking at
said,
other burner, one burner. But now of course, the miscarriage. A
yeah,
lot of times we see, what the woman, has to go through and she's being spoken to and stuff. We never get to see what, the man, how he felt and how he feels. And within your testimony, you want to go, you really express that it really destroyed you mentally.
man.
Oh.
When I tell you, man, it when I say destroyed me, man, it destroyed me, man, because I was to the point I was so happy
Mm-hmm.
when I found out it was my first son, junior, we're gonna have football games. I was getting hyped, man. I was ready, man. And then bam, instant done. All that just going down the drain. And then I cried. Like I said, I cried once because I wanted to be strong for my wife, man. I didn't want her to see me cry. I wanted somebody got to be strong.
Yeah.
So I was that strong person at the time. I told you I kept my feelings inside. I balled all that up, man. That was the wrong thing to do around that time, but I had no choice but to because I didn't want her to keep blaming herself, just stuff like that, man.
Mm.
But prior to that, she was working full time while she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She was working for a printing company, but it was like around a lot of chemicals, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
she blamed herself. She thought that happened to kill her. She's like, no, the nurse said no, nothing that you have done. Things just happened. Just the heartbeat just gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just there for her, man. Like mentally, my mind was just I was there but not there. I was there to the point I was only there to where I had to care for her because I had to wash her, I had to help her around the house, I had to watch her bleed. Like I told you that moment when she was on the like using the restroom, I saw all that blood, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it traumatized me, man. Cause my wife had to bleed out right here on the toilet. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So it
Mm-hmm.
was one of those moments right there. On top of that, I was missing work. I had no money coming in. I had to literally ask my boss, and she literally, I'm glad she gave me the money. I'm really happy for that. So, and then on top of that, man, it was like I couldn't focus. It was one of those things I could not focus at all, man. Like people, like when you're there, like you're not there. That's like my mind was just like my conscious and mind, everything was just going. I was just in a space. I was spacing out like all the time, man, and drinking and smoking was like my avenue, man, and playing video games. That was my revenue. I was my avenue. I was playing video games a lot. I was smoking. I was just drinking and stuff like that. I was just spending money on nonchalant stuff to keep me happy. Just all that stuff like that, man. And I'll tell you, man, having a miscarriage, man, as I look back now, I kind of see it as I don't want to say it like this, but I feel like it's kind of a life lesson. If you're trying to get what I'm saying,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, Tyree, y'all made a commitment to each other, stuff like that. Y'all married, bam. Let me see how you can handle this.
Mhm.
Kind of that. It's kind of how I saw it, and I felt it. 'Cause, I did my own thing. I was right on my wife, man. I was saying mean things to her, man. It was terrible, man. It was to the point where I didn't believe in divorce at all, man. Like I was telling you, I didn't believe in divorce at all. I was literally trying to justify getting divorced from her. I literally was like, look, I was pulling up stuff online and look, yeah, this looking up stuff trying to get divorced. Like I'm doing this, not knowing I was like, I even I literally had went to downtown where we get our paperwork from. I had feel like a big folder stacked like this, and I paid money for it just to get it, and never even figured, not even signed it. Not even
Wow.
something at all. I just got it. I spent all that money for nothing, really. Now I look back. I spent all that money for nothing.
Alright.
And then, like I said, it was to the point too, man. Like I was violent. I was violent, man. I knew I was violent because like I moved out the house, and I moved with my granddad. And my wife was trying to stick up on me. Thought I had some girls over there, stuff like that. She stuck up on me because she knew where my granddad lived.
Mm.
And she came in one day, starting an argument in my granddad's house, and I ended up pushing her by accident. Like I ended up pushing her while she was pregnant. And like that's why I knew like I wasn't there, man. Like I was not there. Cause my granddad kind of old up in age, old, and he got onto me. He's like, don't you push that girl. Like, and then my mom's like, well, she shouldn't have been over here.
Mhm.
Like I was just going off, man. Like I was going off, man. Like I'm telling you that it messed me up, man. I'm not gonna lie,
Mm.
it really messed me up, man. As I look back, it really messed me up. But like I said, I kind of see it as a life lesson, man, where, you know, this happened. If this wouldn't have happened, what I would have what I would have been led to the truth to God. I look back sometimes, I'm like, if this transition wouldn't have happened, what I would have been here still.
Mhm.
I just think about it sometimes, man. But
Mhm.
I'm just really honestly grateful to God, man. Like during that whole time I was doing my own thing, he didn't cut me off.
Mhm.
When I tell you I was
That's
literally
right.
dedicated to this other girl than my wife, I was driving. I'm driving early in the morning just to go to her house. Like I was doing everything, man, for this girl, then my own wife. Like it was that bad. Like I just didn't care anymore about my wife. It was
Mm.
that bad.
And
I mean,
did the other girl, did she know that you were married?
yeah, she knew. She knew. She didn't say she didn't care.
Jeez. And she knew your wife was pregnant?
Hmm.
So she just said like that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. And
And then
how did that make you feel when she said that?
again, like I said, my mind wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was still on the do me. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
No, I get the doom, but I'm saying like, did that kind of like say, whoa, did she say she don't care? Or
well,
did I kind
it kind of shocked me, but I was like, okay, she know I'm married. She don't care. Okay. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, wow. In my mind, I was
of
shocked. I was like, usually tell a girl the truth like that, they stand they back off. I was like,
course, of course, of
like,
course.
she was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I was
And
like, okay.
what was her character like? I mean, you said she was into politics. Was it like, Atlanta got their hoes out there in Atlanta now, you know what I'm saying? They got their hoes out there now. Like was it
She
like
was
she
now she
educated
was very
woman to say? Was she like
now
what characteristics you would say?
she wasn't like she was very honestly she was very smart. Honestly, she was smart. She went to UCF. She graduated in I can't what it was. Like I want to say engineer or something like that. Something like that. She was smart. She's actually pretty smart. She was a country girl. She was smart and stuff like that. Um, she was very mature for it. She was very mature. I'll give her that. She was very mature. But of course, again, she didn't really care. I was was married. So,
Yeah. No,
but
because I ask because a lot of times people just assume automatically, oh, this must be like some, hoe or she's just on the corner. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? Whatever. But the fact that you're telling me this was an educated woman,
yeah.
you know, with a degree in engineering, like as you believe engineering, you know, mature and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
She was with UCF and everything. She paid for her own college and all that stuff, man. Like so, yeah, it was. Yeah, she was smart. She wasn't dumb now. She was smart, but it was too dumb when the whole situation happened. But
that's
yeah,
something, man.
but
Wow.
yeah,
No, that's just something, you know. And once again, it just goes to show you just don't know who is who, you know, or what is what,
yeah.
and so forth.
Here's the kicker, though, that's one thing too. It wasn't just her though.
Mm,
Like when I tell you, I was out there. It was her. It was other girls, man. It was just I was out there, man.
mhm.
I was full fledged out there. Just
Wow.
any girl I see, I was talking to them. I was on Facebook looking up girls. I was
Mhm.
doing all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah. And so the one, most of the or all the ones that you've been with, they knew you were married
Hmm.
and that your wife with a kid on the way,
Hmm.
and they just did not care.
Yeah,
Wow. That's something, man.
yeah,
I mean, it's something to if you really don't know, if she really doesn't know,
yeah.
I can't hold you to it. I mean, you really did
That
not know.
I would say out of that group, one of them, she was like, you gotta go home to your wife, stuff like that. You're going to your wife, but me, like, I ain't going home to her, man. But we good right now. I like that's how I was. Attitude was like I was like, nah, we ain't doing that. Nah, she fine, she good. And I just stayed. I just mess with the other girls, stuff like that. So one girl was telling me like, just go home to your girl, just go to your wife, man. You know what I'm saying? Be there for the baby. And me, I didn't care. Like I said, I was in that I don't care stage. I'm just like I'm doing me. So I still say, no, I'm still gonna stay. Let's have some fun. I'm just saying, just do what we do, stuff
And then
like that.
after
So,
you would say that, did she say, "Well, no, like don't do," or it just that was
she
it?
did at that point. Yeah, she was like, you don't care, I don't care. So I was like, yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
wow, that's something. That's something, man. And you know, it just goes to show because not just the fact that you were out of you know the way of holiness and so forth, but you know for those being in it, because I'm sure some go through things, you know,
yes,
and have some times to go through. But something you said so that you know that was brought to my attention was, you know, when you get to that lowest, like this happened to you, it's like
yes,
man, the devil enters in.
yeah, man. I'm telling you, man.
Because
When I told you,
for you, like he might like not only here's the thing though. The thing with yourself, I don't only think the devil entered in, but it's like you received him with open arms.
yes,
It's like
that
you
basically
allowed him
that's what it felt like.
because
It
and
was like
it was like a
everything, like
easy link, you
yeah,
know, because it wasn't like because literally you had this, you know, whatever whole trap, whatever you know want to be called and so forth, telling you, yeah, go home to your you know wife and kid, but the fact that they have knowledge of it
yeah,
and they're still you know engaged, it's like and you saying, yeah, no worries. It's like you received them well, you received the devil gladly.
yeah, yeah. Like I didn't. That's what like I didn't really care. I was like, I just want to be happy. I want to have some fun. I want to be satisfied. I had the most fun we can do, man.
Wow. And you know to think that you were doing all of that and going through all of that and God still had mercy upon your life, man.
Yes, man. That was really what got me, man. Was the mercy part, man. Like when I tell you, I'm gonna give you another incident that happened
Mm,
too that kind of, I think about sometimes, man, where I was drinking and I was messing with another girl too. We was just she was like a new girl and we were just messing around talking and stuff like that. So we ended up drinking together, stuff like that. Just like you know what I'm saying, drinking. One day she told me to go to her house. So we was at a house with her sister, stuff like that. We was drinking what's that wine called? Caleb Port or something like that, what it's called. Yeah, so we was drinking that, man. Again, when I tell you God does things for a reason, or he does something to make you just realize what are you doing? Like I was drinking it. I was fine. Like I think I think I ate like something small, so whatever, it's like a little small. You know when you I don't know if you ever drunk before, but if you when you drink, you have to eat something. If you don't,
yeah.
you're gonna throw up. You're gonna throw up.
I've never
So
drank before, but that's what I've heard.
but yeah, like
Mhm.
so I was drinking and then like instantly like I started seeing like I was looking around. You get like the numbness feeling in your hands, like you get like a numb feeling in your hands or something like that. Like you like between like you your funny bone.
Mhm.
It kind of felt like that. My whole body felt like that. And like I literally the whole world was just spinning. So I was like, man, I'm good. And my mom was like, sorry, what's going on? I'm good. I'm good. I didn't even drink much at all. At all. I didn't drink much at all. So I ended up walking up to the door. I collapsed. Like I literally collapsed. Like I hit the door, my face full face, like hit the door. Like I was like, bam, hit the door and everything, and I just like slumped on the stairs. Like, and then I had to literally sit there. Like my leg was all bent and all types of nonsense, man. Like, and then the girl that was there with me, she was like, "Are you okay? You okay?" And then my mom was like, "Dude, something just happened over me. I don't know what it was, but something just happened over me." And as I went home, like as I look back now, I feel like it just felt like he was telling me don't be there. Like it just felt like it's like a get back type thing. It's like, why are you here? You should be doing this and stuff like that. And that happened. Like I drove home. I felt bad, man. I really felt bad. Like I felt like I can't even describe
Yeah.
it, man.
No,
Like
well, of course you shouldn't have been there, but in terms of what I believe you're trying to explain is you felt as though it was like God showing you, I could kill you right now.
yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I
yeah. That's,
could,
that
I
would
can.
have felt like.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, man. Like that would have
You,
felt
you,
like.
God cuts you off at one of the mistresses' place, and now your wife has your daughter, and your daughter asks, "How did Daddy die? Where did he die, Mom?"
Man, I'm
Can
telling
you
you,
can you
man.
imagine? I'm telling
That's
you,
why.
God is a merciful God.
That's why I tell you, I think God when I tell you when I found holiness and uh everything, man, I'm telling you, I cried almost every day, man. I literally was thinking, I was in the car sometimes just praying like, God, man, why did you spare me like this, man? I don't deserve this. I really don't. I don't really don't deserve you finally giving me holiness. Like I don't deserve this because I should have been dead. Like like man, I look back at so many times like I could have been cut off. All the times I was out with other girls could have been cut off, could have been off dead somewhere at some girl's house. And then during that time too, my mind was also changing too because like I having a daughter, and I was thinking about like, what if somebody did it to my daughter?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this stuff, and then I'm doing this to my daughter. So that had me change. That had me with my change too, with the drinking and stuff like that as well. While I was like I said, I would come to my change,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I'm telling you, I thank God every day, man. It's not a day I don't thank God, man, because I literally be sitting up, tearing up, just thinking about all the times where he could have cut me off at. Every time I think about it, like I could have been dead and gone. My daughter could have grew up with no father, and then the last thing she knows is I was out there doing God knows what,
Mm-hmm.
and you should have been been tending to me, taking care of me, spending time with me. And that's the last much she has. I think about it all the time, man. Like I thank God, man, for his grace, man, because he's taught me in mercy. He literally showed me holiness and mercy, man. No doubt.
Mm. And
No doubt.
there's a saying in Haiti, maybe it's like in other countries and cultures as well. It's if if something may not get you, it may not come to you, but it could get to your kid.
Yeah.
It's like a reap what you sow. So you believe, okay, maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't come to you, but it gets to them.
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
one thing too, man. I was so scared about, man, while making my change. I was like, I done all this.
Mhm.
Now I feel like I finna reap what I sowed. Like God finna allow something to happen to my like somebody finna do it to my daughter. Like I don't want that.
But
I
here's the
would take
here's
my
the here's the beauty here's the beauty about your testimony. You man, you betrayed God, your wife, and just ugly, nasty, filthy, all that stuff that you did. And
yeah,
here
man.
God now gives you the opportunity, let you hear his servant, lets you
Yeah,
hear the word of God. Now, which
yes.
gives you an opportunity to raise not only be a good husband now,
Yes, yes.
not
That's
only be
another
a good brother, but to be able to raise your daughter right.
that's another thing. Yeah,
Isn't that something? Think
that's
about
another
it.
thing.
Just think about it for look at all that you did.
Yeah.
Look at all, and you knew you were doing wrong. You
Yes,
knew
yeah.
it. Some they'll be like, "Oh, this is culture. This is how we do." You knew 150%. This is what you were doing wrong. Look at
Yep.
all of that stuff you were doing. But here God gives you an opportunity. He says, you know what? I'm still gonna give you an opportunity. Isn't that something?
And I'm telling you, like I say, I think about it all the time. Like I'm telling you, I tear up sometimes, man. I literally be sitting to myself just thinking, like, why, why? Like I don't deserve it. I just don't. Like I don't deserve it. I did all this before you. You saw everything I've done. Like, I can't hide. You see everything. You know
Mhm.
everything. So why you give me this opportunity? Like, why? Like, why did you do this? And then I'm just like, I'm just still just astonished. I'm still to this day like, why? I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it. But I'm just like, I'm so grateful, and I be in prayer every time, thinking, God, man, like, why did you do this for me? I don't deserve this. Now, here's another thing.
Mm.
You know, I'm in I'm in a predicament now where, you know how one person comes to Christ
Yes.
and then the other person is not.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So
gonna take time.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when I was in the beginning of learning holiness stuff like that, I would say I was a little bit overzealous. I was a little
Mhm.
bit overzealous. 'Cause I was trying
you
to,
you
you
wasn't you.
know,
I'm sure you weren't the only one.
yeah, yeah, 'cause I was forced. Like, I was like, I was trying to force my wife to do
Yes.
this, do this, you gotta do this,
Yeah.
do that. And then again, I was baptized, right?
Mhm.
So I was literally, it felt like God was telling me, Tyree, stop doing that. Stop doing that. That's my job. You don't do that. And then like I just kept on doing it. And then he kept pricking my heart, Tyree, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Work on yourself. Don't do it. So right now I'm in a predicament now where like I'm in holiness
Mhm.
and she's still, out in the world. Of course, she's doing her own thing, stuff like that. She want to wear her pants and she want to wear, her stuff and wear, just the worldly things and stuff like that. So I've been trying to implement, a little bit of marriage stuff. Is like, look, you have control over my body. I have control of your body. So if if I feel like what you wear disrespect me, I have every right to say something to you about it,
Mhm.
because yeah, that's mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody else to see that because that's my body.
Mhm.
So, of course, her mind, she thinks it's not disrespectful, but it is,
Yes. 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 Of
And
course.
but I think back, I was like, look, when God was talking to me, he was just like, don't I can't look down on her
Mhm.
because you gotta remember, you were just at that point. That's why I thank God for Gino when he was saying something like you can't look down on that person because you gotta remember he brought you out, he could bring her out.
Mhm. Absolutely.
That's what been having my mind be like rechanging, renewing my mind on that
Yeah.
because I would just be praying for her. That's all I do. I pray for her all the time now. Like that's all I
Of
just pray
course.
for her. Still I still implement God's rule.
Mhm.
Put him first as I should. I don't go along with all this other she wants to do. Like, and that's another thing too. That's why I know like holiness it's been something. When you start to come to holiness, you so hyped, you feel so good. And then here comes the obeying part. Here comes the obeying part. Like you hear it, it sounds good. It sounds
Yeah.
good, all right, but you gotta obey
Yes.
it. So that's where I'm at. So I was like, so a lot of things I've been changing. Like, I used to have a nose ring. I used to have the hoops in my ear. I used to
Mhm.
have all that stuff. I took all of that out.
Well,
Tattoos. That's why I got this on. Like I
yeah.
cover my neck tattoos. I'm getting it removed soon.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
I'm working on that, man. I can cover my other tattoos, but I want to get my neck removed because I want to start wearing these. It's hot.
Yeah.
But I wear it because I know that I'm in a new life now,
Yeah.
and I don't mind wearing it. People ask me like, "Why you wear it?" Like, don't mind your business. I'm just this is me.
Yeah.
So I just
Wow.
wear it. So,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
but that's what I'm saying. So when you in holiness, you literally fulfill
Mhm.
so many scriptures. Like when I tell you where it brings division, oh man. But I mean, it brings a sword. I mean, it brings a sword.
Of course.
Like the things that me and her used to do, and I told her I can't do it no more. She was like, "Yeah, that's how you
Yeah.
know like, holiness is like stepping in." Like, and she
Mm-hmm.
gets mad, but I tell her like, "Look, I gotta pick God first.
Mm-hmm.
I just I can't do it like I used to no more. I
Yeah.
can't do the party. I can't have all these going out late nights and stuff like that. I can't just do what I want to do. No, I can't. I just can't do it." And then she be like, she want me to help her out with, what you call it, get her earrings for it. Like, nope, I can't touch it. I
Mm-hmm.
can't handle it. And then, and she gets mad at that. It's like, well, if I give it to you, I'm basically stripping it. Like I can't give it to you,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I'm in right now. I'm in that mode where I'm putting in holiness in my marriage, and it's bringing conflict,
Mm-hmm.
but I gotta accept it. He said it's gonna happen, so I just gotta accept it.
Course. And my advice to you, buddy, you just have to endure.
Yeah, that's
As
what
a
I'm
as
doing.
a good soldier,
That's what I'm doing right
it's
now, man. It's trust me,
yeah.
it be days where it's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I be crying like, man. I'm telling you, it's
Mhm.
tough. It is
Mhm.
so tough, man. It's
Of course, it's your predicament. Of course, there's many, in it and whatnot. One of of course, the greatest things you can do is continue to listen to the teachings and learn.
yes,
The same way it's taking time for marriage, take your
yeah.
time in this way of holiness.
That's one thing I've learned too, man. Take your time.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing I've learned, man, because I've been like when you're used to something so long, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Then when pastor breaking it down, it's like don't look at nobody else, focus on you.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, you gotta answer to God for your life,
Yeah.
not for nobody else's life, your life. And that what when I was in the beginning of holiness, my mind was always on this judgmental. Like I'm trying to break like my right now, honestly, my mind, I've been having these thoughts come out of nowhere. I'm thinking bad about people, but like
Mhm.
me personally, like I know people can be saved. So is the devil trying to throw
Mhm.
these thoughts in my mind where I was like, look, looking at this person, looking at this person, look at this person. Like, no, I don't care about that because I got to focus on my own self.
That's right.
I got to endure things my own self, and I don't have time to judge other people, look at other things. I don't like.
Mhm. Yeah. No, don't lose your judgmental stick. Just make sure you
Yeah,
use it on you.
yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You keep that on you. You know, it's like I said, within these, predicaments, and it's gonna be not only just in marriage. Sometimes it's a young kid that comes in holiness, and it's between her and the parents, or him and the parents,
yeah,
or whatever they're living and so forth. But just now that you have the opportunity to learn in this way of holiness, keep listening to the teachings. Get the
that's what I do.
teachings and
That's
and
literally what I do all the
not
time
not
now.
not
Like,
only just listen, but apply.
yeah,
Apply it as
that's what
well.
I'm trying to do. Like, literally, like the convocation of that passed. I've been praying. Like I was praying before the convocation on things like I want to work on, like you know, like these vain thoughts be coming in my mind and all the type of stuff like that, man. I'm just trying to get rid of it, just because I don't like having vain thoughts of my past where that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
That life I used to live is gone. Like when I tell you to the point now, I know holiness sticking into me. Like I'm so scared. Like
Yeah.
I'm scared to do any. When I say I'm scared to do anything, I'm scared to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to even look wrong at a female. I don't
Mm.
want to even do talk to a female that long. Like that's how bad.
Yes.
That's how it is. Like I don't do anything.
Wonderful.
Like
And
that's how scared I am. And I
mhm.
tell my wife about it. She was like, she know her wall still up sometimes. She thinks I'm still going like, but I'm like, no. Like when I tell you, I tell my wife, like, look, I'm scared. I mean, I fear God so much, man. Like I don't really want to do nothing wrong. Like all I want to do is get my marriage right. Let's continue to keep working on this together. We're gonna have our disagreements. It's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Because I'm putting holiness. I'm putting God in first. I'm putting
Yeah.
God the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And actually learning. But this is one thing I know. I know God is trying to get her attention. When I tell you the first day of the convocational, I was praying for my wife. I was praying for her. God help her out.
Yeah.
Lead her to the truth and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Now, For instance, who's going to just sit there one day and look up holiness? Who's going to sit here one day and say, I'm gonna look up holiness.
Mm-hmm.
So I was during the convocational. I had my phone. I was on my phone looking for like scriptures when you're talking to scripture stuff like that.
Mm.
And I see a message. I see a text message pop up, and it says one burner, one stove burning. I was like, so she watching it. So I'm like, she
Oh,
actually.
so your wife texted you that, eh?
Yeah.
Ah, you see?
In my mind, I was happy at once. I was like, God's trying to talk to us. And then I called her after the convocation. I got to the hotel room. I was like, look, so you watched it, right? She was like, yeah, I watched a little bit of it. And I turned it off. I was like, what did I say? I was like, so you just looked at holiness, just like the pop across the screen thing. She was like, no, I just looked it up. I was like, so you just looked it up? She's like, yeah, I just looked it up. I was like, no, that's God talking to you. No, there's no way that you can just sit here and like, look, let me look up holiness. Let me see what this is about. No one's gonna know open to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that's just that one seed right there.
Yeah.
No matter if you watch a little bit of it or not, it's that one seed right there. That's a one
Of
chance.
course.
It's that one seed that's been planted, and
And
it
you
can
know,
be.
not even just women. They'll tell you it's a little bit, and then they binge watching that thing. They binge watching. They'll tell you, oh, a little bit, yeah, yeah. I got a little bit of it, yeah, yeah. And they watching it. They watching, But I'm happy, in regards to that. And as I said, my brother, your testimony in itself it's beautiful, and it just goes to show how merciful God is and how we're so undeserving of it. Not just within
Yes.
yourself, but me. That's why I say moreover to the brethren, I don't deserve anything good from God. I really do. When I say that, I mean that too, bro.
I'm
I
the
mean
same.
that.
I just I think about it almost every day, man. Like I don't deserve this chance. I just don't because all the things that I've done before you, like it was terrible, and I was at the point where I didn't care, and you still give me a chance. You still give me this one chance. And he said, Tyree, I'm gonna give you this one chance. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? You gonna just
Oh,
ignore me? Now I'm gonna cut you off. Like now, but that was about my mind. I was like, he's just so long suffering, man. Like that. Oh man, like I'm telling you, like I can't even wrap the words around it. How grateful and how thankful I am to God, man, for literally sparing me, man. Like I get tears sometimes, man, just thinking about like
yeah.
he could have killed me.
Yes, man.
Could have
Oh,
been
yes.
going priceless grave, just waiting for judgment, man. And now I have a fighting chance. Like
Oh, yeah.
he put me on a straight path, man. Now
Mhm.
this is the thing I didn't tell you about.
Mm.
During the whole time I was doing all that stuff, I was there looking at the Bible. I was looking at the Bible scriptures here and there, that pops on my phone for Bible apps.
Mhm.
Now, when I was into holiness, when I got into holiness and everything, I look back at all like I used to save some of the scriptures I listened to look at.
Mhm.
Literally, almost every scripture I looked at was literally closely lining up to my present time now, and it was kind of scary. It was like the scripture Acts 2:48 was Acts 38. Sorry, Acts two
Mhm.
thirty eight was coming up. Something about a little bit of holiness popped up. Something about it was just everything was lining up to finding God,
Yes.
and it was about change and about getting rid of this and get rid of that, and get rid of this, and it was just everything lined up, man. Even though I was out there doing what I wanted to do, I was still looking at scriptures, and everything lined up. Now I look back, man, I feel like God was talking to me, but I just didn't, I ignored it.
Mhm.
But when I look back at it now, I'm just like he was talking to me the whole time, telling me to
Of course.
repent and stuff
No,
like
of course.
that.
But as you said, like your head was just, it wasn't there. You were just in
Yeah,
your,
I wasn't there at all. Yeah, I wasn't
out
there
of
at
your
all.
own. Oh, man. And talking about gratefulness before we conclude, brother, like when you look back and see what the Lord has done for thee, how grateful are you to God for Apostle Gino Jennings?
Man, words like you can't even describe it, man. I'm just so grateful, man. I literally tear up all the time. I tear up, man. Like sometimes, like I'm just grateful that God gave me a fighting chance, man, to save my soul, man. And I'm so undeserving of it, man. And I thank the pastor, man, for his teachings, for the teachings, man, that God gives him, man. And you know, and it hits home every time. Literally, it hits my soul every time, man. And I love it because, like I said, I grew up in a household. You know how people not used to his prank talking and his yells up like that. I'm used to that because
Right.
my dad was militant. He had a soft side, like how he be cracking up.
Oh, of
It's like,
course. Yeah.
but he has a militant side too. So I was raised around that. So I'm like a southern person, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm used to the dads and everybody families yelling at you, stuff like that. I'm used to that. But when you put it with scripture and you just man, it be like punches. But I love it, man, because it lets you examine yourself and see where you at.
Absolutely.
It lets you see where you at. That's why I love Gino, man. Like I thank God for using Gino, man, because it lets me know where I'm at.
Right.
And things I got to overcome, and things I got to look up to God for and face for it, and to help me to overcome it, man. And literally, I thank God, man. Like,
Wonderful.
man,
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, brother, you have an opportunity now, and you'll hear, people will say it on the radio, guys, I have an opportunity of a lifetime. You could win this much money, or you could win this car. You could, brother, this
man,
is your opportunity of a lifetime right now.
yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I literally, it's to the point where I know that holiness changing, man, changed me. I used to play, like I told you before, I played video games a lot.
Yes.
I got rid of it. I sold my PlayStation. I sold my PlayStation and everything.
They called that the, what did they used to say? That's like the hood bankruptcy. That's what
Yeah,
when you gotta sell your PlayStation, they call that, that's when you
yeah.
bankrupt in the hood. That's what
But I knew God was talking to me like, because it was to the point where he was like, you just giving this is too much attention. You giving too much attention instead of me.
Yes.
And during that time, I felt it. I felt that conviction, man. I was like, you know what? It's time to get rid of this, man.
Of course, of course.
When you feel things tug on you,
Yeah.
that's telling you like you gotta stop. You gotta let go. So that's
Yeah.
why I did, man. I haven't looked back, man. I'm just
Wow.
been focusing on myself, trying to get
Wonderful.
myself right and following the teachings, man, and just
Wonderful.
getting better myself, man.
Oh, wonderful. And just to clarify, those of you, listening in, because there's some people quick, and the sinners that watch and understand, you
Mhm.
allowed to play video games in this way of holiness now. What the brother's implying is that was just a stronghold for him, whereas the video game should never overtake
Yeah,
God. It should not even be equal or beside him. So I
yeah,
just
that's
wanted to put that out there, because it's not just saints that watch and listening to this, but thank God there's sinners that watch this as well, and
yeah.
herein. So sometimes they have these small questions like this. So that's why I just clarify. But brother, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your testimony, brother. Like honestly, it's your testimony. Like it just makes me reflect.
Hmm.
A little bit about the waste before I conclude, brothers and sisters. With waste, you have, landfill, you have recycling, you have paper plants, construction sites, depending, electronics, all that type of stuff. But then you have organics, food waste. Food waste, when you first see it and when you first receive it, it's disgusting. It's gross. It's, oh my, like you seen a bunch of the chicken bones and it's disgraceful. But did
Yeah,
you all know that same food waste, it turns into a fertilizer so it can get given back to the farms so they can grow the same foods for us to eat again? And the
exactly.
point I'm trying to make is with you, brother, but you were disgusting. You
Yeah,
were, all of us were.
yeah,
We were all nasty, but we went through a transition, and
yeah,
now and although we're not perfect,
yeah.
but to see that God has given you an opportunity to live right,
Yes,
to love right,
yes,
and to raise right.
yes.
What more could you ask for?
Man, there's
Like,
nothing more as you guys.
what after all that, so that's why I'm so grateful, brother, that God has given you an opportunity. And
Yes.
honestly, after this testimony, it's going to be a tug of war, of course. Devil ain't going to be pleased. He's not pleased with you sharing this right now. He's
Oh
not.
yeah, oh yeah. Trust
He's
me,
not
I
happy
already
at all.
It's
So
already, yeah, it's
stay
already been
strong.
man.
Stay,
Trust me, already been.
stay strong, good soldier.
Yeah,
Stay
man.
strong, soldier.
I say prayer every time I can, man. Every chance I get, I be in prayer, man, because you
Wonderful.
gonna need holiness, man. You
Oh,
gonna need
yes.
it. Prayer,
Absolutely, bro.
that's all I've been doing. Prayer and fasting, man. You gonna need it, man.
Absolutely. Well, no, brother, thank you very much for taking the time to come on and share your testimony.
No
Um,
problem.
as I said, man, it's such a beautiful testimony. Brothers and sisters, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Feels really good to be back. Thank God, and these testimonies, it's as I say, they're so encouraging to many brothers and sisters and sinners, as I said, moreover. If you are ready and willing to come and share your testimony on how God brought you out of the world and into his church, come along. You already know what to do with all that type of stuff. As I said, the video and cameras, it's coming along. That's taking time, as well. Because I just want to set it up perfectly. I want it to be perfect. I want of course, we're striving to be perfect, but it's gonna take time, but we can perfect certain things. And I just want to make sure once I go right into it ain't bougie or nonsense. And I had all the people waiting, and it's just like you feel like you're watching something in 1987. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in 2024 now, you feel me? I'm trying to get that thing up there now. You heard me, I know they talk about like you heard me from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to do now, you heard me. I'm trying to make sure things are tight, you heard me. Like, we ain't playing around, you heard me. But, so bear with me, and as things take time, and I don't want to rush it, so please bear with me, brothers and sisters. But with that being said, I forgot to announce it earlier, but those of you, if you want to be baptized right in the name of Jesus Christ, you can go on the truthofgod.com, click location, see what location is closest to you, contact that local secretary or minister, main point of contact, and you'll be able to reach out and set your baptism up. Or there's a baptismal form you could fill out as well. You can look for that. And if you're looking for a first church to attend, do the same thing. Click locations, go on truthofgod.com, click locations, see what location is closest to you. If that location has their brick and mortar, most likely, you could just go. But of course, if, the renting and whatnot, just call to make sure for timings and all that type of stuff, especially if you have a long trip to go. Because I wouldn't want, someone you're traveling. Believe it or not, man, you have some that travel 1 hour and a
Yeah,
half, 2 hours, and 3 hours.
I drove 2 hours to Valdosta,
You
so
see, you drive 2 hours. Like this is, I
it's
know, I
worth it.
know. Yeah, I know one brother Artur, security. He was doing 4 hours to go to head. I'm telling you, you have some that travel, man. So I wouldn't want some to do all of that and they get there and because sometimes maybe the minister just may have to leave early and second service may not be just those things. That's why I just say call to make sure and so forth and make sure the leader teacher guide is Apostle Gino Jennings because you have many of these false churches now they're
Yes,
putting the name
yes,
very similar,
yes. Gotta be
very
careful.
close knit. So now you get inside there, and then you saying it's okay to have a second wife. It's okay to have two burner, and a woman is preaching and makeup, jewelry.
Get out
The,
of there.
the
Get
the
out.
the men in there are like, hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? Something wrong now.
Tell her get out. Tell her
Something
get
wrong.
out.
So now you want to make sure. You want to make sure because I'm telling you, I've seen it moreover. It was so much a link that I used to put in the description. I don't know if that false church try to copy it, but every time a saint would click into it, it would go to some next false church. Like how? But because they put
Oh,
the names close by, they could set up, left and right and all that, technology stuff. So, make sure, of course, the leader, teacher, and guide is Apostle Gino Jennings. And they may tell you yes, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I say go on the website. You'll know. You'll see the location is there and so forth. Because you'll have some, they probably tell you yes, you get there and they're not even it. You understand?
exactly.
So that's just the point it's at. That's the point it's at. These men, they have no work. They're losing money. They're not even worried about losing souls, even. They're worried about losing
Funny,
that
yeah.
money. So they're gonna do whatever they
That's
can and
scary,
not to
man.
do.
That's crazy.
But no, nonetheless, thank God once again for those of you watching and listening. It's your brother Sundin Esperance alongside brother Tyree Lewis. Thank you so much for tuning in.
No
Share,
problem.
like, subscribe, all this wonderful stuff. Stay tuned for the updates. As always, it's your brother Sundin Esperance. Keep me and my family in prayer that we strive and hold on to God's unchanging hand, as well as brother Tyree and his family as well. God bless and peace be unto you all. It's your brother Sundin Esperance.